You probably have one of these 5 popular butters sitting in your kitchen right now, spreading it on toast, melting it on vegetables, completely unaware that it could be silently wrecking your gut, disrupting your hormones, and slowing your fat burning. The labels look harmless. The marketing seems trustworthy. But behind the packaging, there are ingredients your body was never meant to digest. The food industry isn't talking about it, but I will. Before you take one more bite, let me show you which butters are truly safe and which ones you should ditch. Meat number 5. Land O'Lakes. For over a century, Land O'Lakes represented wholesome American dairy, that iconic Native American maiden on the package. The image of Minnesota farms and fresh cream, generations of families trusted Land O'Lakes as real butter, the brand their grandparents used. Something connected to actual farming tradition. But Arista Life Sciences' involvement and modern industrial dairy production have transformed Land O'Lakes into something far removed from traditional butter. While the marketing continues to trade on that century of pastoral imagery, Land O'Lakes sources milk from factory farms using recombinant bovine growth hormone, RBGIH, also called recombinant bovine somatotropin, RBST. This is a genetically engineered hormone injected into dairy cows to increase milk production by forcing their bodies to produce 15 to 20% more milk than natural. The hormone was developed by Monsanto and approved by the FDA in 1993, despite serious concerns. Canada, the European Union, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan have all banned RBGH because of health and animal welfare concerns. But it's perfectly legal in American dairy production. And Land O'Lakes doesn't disclose which of their products contain milk from RBGH-treated cows. Here's what happens when cows are injected with RBGH. Increased rates of mastitis, a painful udder infection requiring antibiotic treatment. Those antibiotics end up in the milk. The hormone also increases insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1 levels in milk. Studies have linked elevated IGF-1 to increased cancer risk, particularly breast, prostate, and colorectal cancers. But RBGH isn't the only problem. Land O'Lakes butter often contains natural flavoring, a term that legally hides dozens of possible additives. In butter, natural flavoring often means diacetyl, a chemical that creates buttery taste. Diacetyl has been linked to serious lung disease in workers exposed to it in factories. While the amount in butter is lower, chronic consumption raises questions the company doesn't answer. Open a package of Land O'Lakes and really look at it. The color is unnaturally uniform, suspiciously consistent across every stick. Real butter from pasture-raised cows varies in color based on what the cows eat and the season. Deep golden yellow in spring and summer when cows eat fresh grass. Paler in winter when they eat hay. Land O'Lakes looks exactly the same year-round because it's produced from industrialized confined cows eating the same processed feed constantly. Taste it and pay attention. There's a flat, one-dimensional quality to the flavor. Real butter from grass-fed cows has complexity, nuanced flavor from the varied diet. Land O'Lakes tastes like what it is, butter from factory-farmed cows eating corn and soy treated with hormones to maximize production. Check your fridge. That pastoral packaging doesn't mean pastoral farming. For families using Land O'Lakes daily, for seniors who've trusted the brand for decades thinking American tradition meant quality, for parents spreading it on their children's toast every morning, they're consuming butter from hormone-treated cows, loaded with antibiotics, flavored with undisclosed chemicals. Century of tradition marketed, factory farm hormones delivered. But at least Land O'Lakes is actual butter from cows. The next brand is barely butter at all. Number 4. Country Crock. Country Crock built its brand on wholesome country imagery. Rolling hills, farm fresh quality, the promise of real butter taste. For decades, families bought Country Crock thinking they were getting something close to traditional butter, maybe slightly different, but still dairy-based and natural. Then consumers started reading labels more carefully. Country Crock isn't butter, it's a vegetable oil spread. The primary ingredients are soybean oil, palm kernel oil, and palm oil. There's some dairy in the form of whey, but the base is industrial seed oils. The product that millions of Americans have been spreading on toast thinking it was butter is actually margarine pretending to be butter through pastoral marketing. The deception is in the packaging. The tub shows a butter dish on a rustic wooden table. Country imagery, warm colors. Everything about the design suggests dairy, farms, traditional butter. But flip it over and read the ingredients. Soybean oil is first. Palm oils are second and third. Butter isn't listed at all because there isn't any butter in Country Crock. Here's why this matters. Vegetable oil spreads are ultra-processed foods created in factories using industrial methods. The oils are extracted using hexane, that same petroleum-derived solvent we exposed in cooking oils. They're then partially hydrogenated aerated or interest aerified to make them solid at room temperature, while Country Crock has removed trans fats from their formula after regulations force the change. The replacement process, interest aerification, has its own concerns. Research suggests interest aerified fats may raise blood glucose levels and reduce insulin response, potentially increasing diabetes risk. But the oils themselves are problematic before any processing. The soybean oil in Country Crock comes from GMO soybeans heavily sprayed with glyphosate. Testing has found glyphosate residues in soybean oil. Palm oil production drives deforestation and uses pesticides that contaminate the final product. Open a tub of Country Crock and smell it. There's an artificial, slightly chemical aroma that doesn't smell like real dairy. Scoop some out and feel the texture. It's unnaturally smooth, almost plastic in consistency. Real butter has a crystalline structure you can feel. Country Crock has been engineered in a lab to mimic butter's spreadability without being butter. Taste it, and the deception becomes clear. There's a vaguely buttery flavor from added, natural flavoring, but underneath is the taste of processed seed oils. The finish is slightly greasy, coating your mouth in a way real butter never does. Drop a comment if you've been using Country Crock for years, thinking it was actually butter. But here's what makes Country Crock particularly problematic. They market aggressively to budget-conscious families and health-conscious consumers simultaneously. The tub costs less than real butter, attracting families watching their grocery budget. But they also claim it's better for you than butter, using phrases like made with plant-based oils to suggest health benefits. For families using Country Crock on their children's toast every morning, for seniors spreading it on bread thinking the lower price means they're being smart with their fixed income, for health-conscious consumers who bought the plant-based marketing, they're consuming ultra-processed seed oils, extracted with industrial solvents, flavored with chemicals to taste like the butter it's not. Country Fresh marketing. Ultra-processed seed oil, reality. Country Crock at least is cheap and positioned as a butter alternative. The next brand charges premium prices while hiding what it actually is. Number 3. Challenge Butter. That distinctive red foil wrapper. Premium positioning in the dairy case. Challenge Butter markets itself as superior quality, the choice for bakers who care about results, butter for people who know the difference. The price point is higher than store brands, reinforcing the message that this is quality worth paying for. Then 2018 happened. Testing commissioned by consumer advocacy groups found Challenge Butter contained vegetable oil blends mixed with dairy fat. What was sold as butter was actually a butter-vegetable oil hybrid. The company wasn't required to disclose this clearly because of labeling loopholes that allow products to be called butter, even when they contain non-dairy fats, as long as they meet minimum dairy content requirements. But the vegetable oil blending is just part of Challenge's deception. Like Land O'Lakes, Challenge sources milk from conventional dairy operations using RBGH. The hormone-treated cows produce more milk, but that milk contains elevated IGF-1 levels and antibiotic residues from treating the mastitis infections RBGH causes. Challenge also uses natural flavoring in their formulation, which in dairy products often includes diacetyl and other butter flavoring compounds. These are added to make butter from grain-fed, confined cows taste like butter from pasture-raised cows. You're paying premium prices for factory farm dairy disguised as quality with chemical flavoring. Open a package of Challenge and examine it closely. The texture is too soft, too spreadable, straight from the refrigerator. Real butter from pasture-raised cows is firmer when cold because of its higher saturated fat content from grass-based diets. Challenge's unnatural spreadability comes from the vegetable oil content and processing methods. Melt some in a pan and watch what happens. Real butter melts cleanly, separating into butterfat and milk solids. Challenge melts with a slightly oily sheen, the vegetable oils separating differently than dairy fat. Smell it as it melts. There's a processed quality to the aroma, not the clean, rich smell of real butter melting. Bake with it and notice the results. Real butter creates superior texture in baked goods because of its unique fat structure and water content. Challenge produces results that bakers familiar with real butter notice immediately. Slightly different texture, different browning, different flavor in the finished product. If you've been buying Challenge thinking premium price meant premium butter, hit subscribe so you never confuse price with purity again. For serious bakers who chose Challenge specifically for baking quality, for families paying extra thinking they were getting superior butter, for anyone who trusted the premium positioning and distinctive red wrapper, they're getting vegetable oil blends from hormone-treated cows, flavored with chemicals, priced like quality. Premium butter marketing. Vegetable oil blend reality. Challenge hides its oils in fine print. The next brand doesn't even pretend to be traditional. Number 2, I can't believe it's not butter. The name itself is an admission. I can't believe it's not butter because it literally isn't butter. But
Decades of marketing have normalized this ultra-processed spread to the point where millions of Americans use it daily, some genuinely believing it's a healthier alternative to real butter. Let's be clear about what I can't believe it's not. Butter actually is a blend of vegetable oils, soybean, palm kernel, water, salt, whey, the only dairy component, soy lecithin, artificial flavoring, preservatives, and synthetic vitamins added to replace the nutrients stripped during processing. The vegetable oils are extracted using hexane, refined, bleached, and deodorized to remove the rancid smell that develops during processing. They're then emulsified with water and whey to create the spreadable consistency. Artificial butter flavoring is added because vegetable oils don't taste like butter. Preservatives like potassium, sorbate, and calcium, disodium, EDTA, are added to prevent spoilage. The product is engineered in laboratories to mimic butter's texture and taste using chemistry and processing. This isn't food in any traditional sense. It's food-like substance created by industrial processes to replace actual food. But here's what makes I can't believe it's not butter particularly insidious. They market it as the healthier choice, lower saturated fat, plant-based oils, heart-healthy alternative. The messaging targets people trying to protect their cardiovascular health, people following doctors' advice to reduce saturated fat intake. The irony is devastating. The industrial seed oils in I can't believe it's not butter are highly susceptible to oxidation, creating inflammatory compounds. The processing itself generates trans fats even in products claiming to be trans fat-free. Regulations allow products with less than 0.5 grams per serving to claim zero trans fats. Open a container and smell it. That buttery aroma is entirely artificial, chemical compounds designed to smell like butter. Scoop some out and feel the texture. It's unnaturally smooth, engineered consistency that doesn't exist in nature. Real butter's texture comes from its crystalline fat structure. I can't believe it's not. Butter's texture comes from industrial emulsification. Taste it, and there's a vaguely buttery flavor that quickly gives way to an oily, slightly chemical aftertaste. The butter flavor is front-loaded from artificial flavoring, but the base oils reveal themselves as the taste develops. For people with heart disease following their doctor's advice to avoid saturated fat, for diabetics trying to manage their condition through diet, for anyone trying to make healthier choices based on conventional nutritional advice, I can't believe it's not. Butter is delivering ultra-processed oils extracted with solvents, flavored with chemicals, preserved with synthetic additives. Heart-healthy marketing, ultra-processed chemical reality. I can't believe it's not. Butter is honestly fake, but the worst brand pretends to be premium European tradition. Number 1. Kerrygold. For years, Kerrygold represented the gold standard. Irish butter from grass-fed cows. Rich, golden color from pasture-based diets. The premium imported butter that food enthusiasts and health-conscious consumers agreed was worth the higher price. That distinctive gold foil, that deep yellow color, the taste that was noticeably richer than American butter. Kerrygold built its reputation on Irish dairy tradition, pasture-raised cows, grass-fed production, European standards that seemed superior to American industrial dairy. For consumers trying to escape factory farming and hormone-treated cows, Kerrygold seemed like the obvious choice. Then 2016 happened. Kerrygold was removed from Whole Foods shelves after failing to meet the retailer's animal welfare standards. The reason? Kerrygold's production wasn't as pasture-based as their marketing claimed. Investigation revealed that while Irish cows do graze more than American confined cows, Kerrygold's supply includes milk from cows that spend significant time indoors, eating supplemental grain feed, not the 100% grass-fed diet the marketing implied. But the pasture washing is just the beginning of Kerrygold's deception. Testing commissioned by consumer groups found that Kerrygold butter contains undisclosed additives and processing aids. The deep golden color that convinced consumers it was superior, enhanced with natural colorings derived from annatto or other sources. The rich flavor, supplemented with cultures and flavorings to create consistency across batches. Real grass-fed butter does have deeper color from beta-carotene in grass, and Kerrygold's cows do eat more grass than American grain-fed cows. But the consistent, vibrant golden color year-round is achieved through additives, not just diet. Irish cows eating hay in winter shouldn't produce the same deep yellow butter as cows on lush spring pasture, yet Kerrygold looks identical year-round. The company also uses sweet cream as an ingredient descriptor, which sounds natural but legally allows for the inclusion of cream from various sources with different production methods. Some of the cream in Kerrygold comes from cows supplemented with grain, treated with antibiotics when sick, and raised in conditions far from the pastoral imagery on the package. Open a package of Kerrygold and examine it. The color is suspiciously uniform, exactly the same deep gold in every batch regardless of season. Real 100% grass-fed butter varies in color based on what the cows eat and when. Kerrygold's consistency reveals processing and coloring to meet consumer expectations rather than seasonal dairy reality. Taste it, and while it's certainly richer than Land O'Lakes or Challenge, compare it side by side with truly 100% grass-fed butter from verified sources. The difference becomes apparent. Kerrygold has a processed smoothness, a uniformity that comes from blending milk from different sources and processing methods. Check your fridge. That Irish imagery doesn't guarantee Irish pastures. But here's what makes Kerrygold the absolute worst. They specifically target the most health-conscious, most discerning, most willing to pay premium consumers. These are people who've done their research, who understand the benefits of grass-fed dairy, who've made conscious decisions to spend more for what they believe is genuinely superior product. That consumer paying $12 a pound for Kerrygold instead of $5 for Land O'Lakes is specifically trying to avoid industrial dairy, hormone-treated cows, grain-fed production.